The soft murmur of conversations and the comforting hum of the espresso machine made the coffee shop a perfect place to unwind after a long week. Nestled in a corner with my physics journal, I savored the rich aroma of my cappuccino. The afternoon light streamed through the large windows, casting a warm glow on the wooden tables. I was about to dive into an article on quantum entanglement when a nearby conversation caught my attention. At a table just a few feet away, a young man, who looked like a typical college student, was animatedly explaining something to his friend. His words were a rapid-fire blend of scientific jargon, and despite the noise around us, I couldn't help but eavesdrop. So the FTL drive works by creating a localized bubble of space-time. Inside this bubble, the laws of physics as we know them are essentially rewritten. By manipulating the Higgs field, we can reduce the mass of the bubble to near zero, allowing it to exceed the speed of light without violating relativity. As a physicist, my curiosity was piqued. Faster-than-light travel was the stuff of science fiction, yet here was this student, laying out a theory with a confidence that bordered on audacity. I leaned in slightly, straining to catch every word. "The key," he continued, "is maintaining the stability of the bubble. If it collapses prematurely, the results could be catastrophic. But with precise control over the field harmonics, we can sustain the bubble for extended periods." I couldn't resist any longer. Clearing my throat, I leaned over. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear. Are you discussing an FTL drive for a story you're writing?" The student looked up, a bit startled, but then smiled. "Yes, actually, it's for a sci-fi story I'm working on. I'm trying to make the science as plausible as possible." I smiled back, amused. "Mind if I listen in? As a physicist, I find your ideas intriguing." The student's eyes lit up and he nodded enthusiastically. "Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts." As he continued his explanation, I listened intently, mentally running through the equations and theories. To my amazement, the math seemed to check out. He spoke of quantum tunneling, negative energy densities, and exotic matter with a fluency that suggested a deep understanding of advanced physics. When he finally wrapped up his explanation, I couldn't help but be impressed. "You've got some fascinating ideas there. Best of luck with your story." With that, I waved goodbye and headed to the counter to refill my coffee. As I waited, a thought nagged at the back of my mind. There was something about that student, something that didn't quite fit. "Excuse me," I said to the barista. "Do those two students come here often?" The barista, a friendly woman with a name tag that read Jenny, thought for a moment. "Not really, but the one with the dark hair likes to add a lot of sugar to his coffee. I mean a lot. It's kinda weird." I nodded, my curiosity growing. "Thanks." I paid for my coffee and stepped outside, pulling out my phone. Dialing a number I knew by heart, I waited as it rang. "Hello? It's me," I said. "I need you to get the video footage from the coffee shop ASAP. There were two students here, one explaining an FTL drive. I need to know who they are." There was a pause on the other end. "Understood. I'll get right on it." As I hung up, my mind raced. If the students' theories were correct, they could revolutionize our understanding of physics. But there was more to this than a simple story. His knowledge was too precise, too advanced for a college student. Days passed, and I found myself back at the coffee shop, waiting for my contact to arrive. When he did, he slid a USB drive across the table. "This is everything. You were right. There's something off about them." I plugged the drive into my laptop and watched the footage. The students appeared normal, chatting and drinking coffee. But when I zoomed in, I noticed something odd. The one explaining the FTL drive had a small, discreet device in his ear, and his movements were subtly mechanical. My heart raced as I realized the implications. These weren't ordinary students. They were something else, something not entirely human. As I left the coffee shop, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had stumbled onto something far bigger than a simple sci-fi story.